Alright, today I want to take a look at a well-known but kind of forgotten franchise, Gumby. Now, Gumby originally came out in 1953 and was originally designed by Art Clokey, a art student at the University of Southern California. Now, Clokey's first film, including Gumby, was a 1953 3-minute student film called Gumbasia, a surreal stop-motion animated film that was set to the music of Fantasia. Now, Gumby would get his first real appearance in media on the Howdy Doody show in 1955. A few years later, Gumby would get his own show that would run from 1957 to 1968 called The Gumby Show. Now, Gumby is a piece of molded green clay that can travel through books and different periods of time and history and has adventures with his other clay horse friend, Pokey. Two other friends that they have is a dinosaur named Prickle and a blue mermaid named Goo. Now, they have two major nemesis that always like to cause trouble and wreak havoc throughout their adventures, and these guys are the blockheads, and they're literally just what they sound like. They're jerks, pulling guns and knives and just doing all types of insane, psychotic things to Gumby and Pokey, who are doing nothing other than try to have a fun time. Now, in 1957, there was a toy line released by Jesco, a company in Hong Kong, that released the Gumby bendable figures along with Pokey and some other outfits that came out for the series. There was also a TV series that would be released later in 1988 called Gumby Adventures, which was still animated in the same stop-motion style, and some of the episodes really got weird, but it was fun. I remember the show as a kid, and I liked it a lot. Also in 1990, there was a feature-length film called Gumby the Movie that came out, and didn't really do too well, because by that point Gumby had kind of faded into obscurity. Alright, let's take a look at some of the toys that I have of the Gumby series. And as you can see here, I have two toys. I have Gumby here on the left, and his buddy Pokey on the right. Now, these aren't the original series from the 1960s, these are actually from the 1977 series of toys. As you can see here, Gumby is nothing more than really just a piece of green molded cutout clay, as you can see by the large feet and the kind of weirdly shaped head. I really like the style that they did on the eyes and the yellow mouth and the eyebrows and head. It's pretty neat. And you can see on the back here has the Jesco logo, so this is not a remake. These are the original toys, at least from the 70s anyway. And I think Gumby's pretty neat looking. He's very large. He's about 6 inches. And the big thing with these toys is that he was totally poseable. So you could bend him in, a million different positions with his legs or with his arms. And you could, act out some of the scenes that you saw, when you saw him in the cartoons and stuff like that. And he's just a really cool, fun toy. So the same thing goes here with his buddy Pokey. Pokey has a lot of good detailing to him as well. He has a nice bright orange color, and his legs are poseable here, but being as he's such an old toy, I don't want to move them too much because some of the metal pins inside have broken. I like how they did the scoring along the top of his mane there to really look like it's clay that had been pressed in. You can open up his mouth, and the same type of detail is done on the tail as well. He's a little different because you can move his head around, and he kind of has a little look as he's saying, like, "Hey, Gumby, what are we doing on our next adventure?" And you can even put Gumby on top, and believe it or not, Pokey will be able to support the weight of such a large figure, and you can pretend to have your adventures and take Gumby to the Old West or to outer space or wherever your imagination wants to take you to. And that's what I think is one of the best things about the Gumby toy, is that it really inspires imagination, so much more than other action figures and things of the period, because unlike that, Gumby doesn't really have a lot of guns or accessories or play sets. It's just a very plain, ordinary green figure, and you kind of have to figure out your own adventures with him, and that makes him special, I think. So I'm glad you guys decided to stop by and take a look at the history of the Gumby toy line with me today, and hopefully I'll see you again next week. Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. And if you do the Facebook or Twitter thing, follow me at #KingoRetro. See you next time.